Hey folks, Jordan and Local Survival. So as you guys can see, I have a lot of books I've been reading over the years about this topic of survival and bushcraft. Now that does beg the question, is self-education in this fact good enough, or do you need an actual survival school, formal education in this, if you will, to actually be successful at bushcraft and survival? Stick around. Alright guys, so to clear the air real quick, I just want to say this. I'm not trying to take a crap on a certain school or individual teaching this stuff, and I'm not trying to persuade you from just self-education versus going to a school. That's not my goal. I'm just trying to give you a little food for thought here. Now, on top of that, too, I'd like to clear the air by saying I'm not coming at you guys with this forethought, if you will, with a year or two experience. I've been doing this for a number of years now, well over a decade, and so there's that. And most of it, yes, is in the eastern woodlands. I haven't really experienced desert survival or jungle or mountaineering or think that. It's just purely here, but again, I'm not a novice at this, so I've had some experience and some time to think about this stuff. So, moving on, we got some notes here, guys. Don't worry. We got some pros, some cons, and a little bit of, I guess, thoughts of mine that I want to share with you guys. Hopefully, you'll find it useful. Now, pro number one, if you did your due diligence and the school's honest with you, you can find a school that's at your skill level, so beginner, intermediate, advanced, and it's in something that you want to learn, say desert survival, jungle, eastern woodlands, mountaineering, whatever the case may be, right? You did that and the school's honest with you, okay, cool. When you go there, right, you can get hands-on experience being taught to you by experts in that field. So yes, and you're going to learn a lot more in person via EDI or explain, demonstrate, imitate. So the instructor should sit there, explain to the class, this is what we're going to do, this is what I want you to do. They're going to demonstrate to the class, i.e. you, potential students, and they're going to have you guys imitate them a few times plus over, so you actually get to own the skill, or hone the skill at least, in that class. So there's that. And personally, not only I, but a lot of people I know learn best by EDI. It works for, I dare say, 90+% of the population in general. So there's that. Now, number two, pro two, is the gold nuggets that you don't learn by watching videos or reading books. Mostly because time span, attention. Oh my gosh, attention span. That's the word I'm looking for. Wow. But videos can only be so long before they really start dropping off retention rate, and along with that, books. There's really no way you can go in depth to the point where the instructor wants to, nor should they, I dare say, because if you're running a business like a survival school, it'd be kind of silly to throw everything you're going to teach in a class into a book, like literally verbatim, what you're going to do, and sell the book for like say $15 when you charge say $400 for your class. You're losing out a lot of money. Just saying, that's kind of the world works, but you know that's probably why they don't. But gold nuggets, though, you can pick those up in the class. The instructor's like, hey, you know, if whoever read my book or see my videos, I said this, this, and this, right? But actually, there's this, this, and this I didn't say because, again, gold nuggets. So there's that type stuff you're going to learn. Again, a lot more of the tips and tricks of the trade, if you will, from actually going to a school opposed to reading or watching videos. Now, number three, community. You are probably going to meet some of the most eccentric people in this line of work if you're pursuing to make your own school, or you're going to meet some weird kind of students too. And whatever the reasonings is, okay, it could be, oh, I think the Civil War is going to pop off in the United States if my candidate does get into office, and you know, there's that spectrum. Or it could be more so practical in my mind, where it's like, hey, you know, I go outside, I'm an outdoor enthusiast, I do XYZ all the time. I should probably really learn some skill sets to survive more than 24 hours in the woods. So, yeah, okay, either one's valid. I'm not saying either one's not, but there's that. You're going to meet those kind of people there, and maybe you'll meet your next best friend, which I know as an adult, you're like, oh, friend, what is that? That's weird, but hey, whatever. I think it's kind of weird in this world. We're all so connected, but so lonely, but whatever. And number four here, guys, self-awareness. You are going to learn what you can handle a lot better going to a school where you don't have the comfort of, oh, I can walk 200 yards to the woods to my back door and walk in my house and have all my creature comforts, right? Or you're going to sit there and go, okay, I have the discipline to go out into the woods and try to stay there, but you're not going to really self-enact the stress that a school can place upon you, where they have, okay, we're going to have a timed event, guys, because again, timing yourself versus somebody else timing you, and you're trying to pass this class per se, different stress, right? So you're gonna finish, I don't know, say this Bodro fire in 5 minutes or whatever. Oh crap, you gotta from start to finish. So oh crap, you gotta know what you're doing, whatnot. So there's that stress. Along with that, maybe you're an individual who's completely new to bushcraft and survival, and you've never spent a night in the woods alone or even in a group. You've never been camping before, so it's a little intimidating. Okay, so there's some points later on in the video I'll say about that, but again, that's stress introduced by the class. Now, correct stress like that in a controlled environment where you're safe, okay, that's great. And I dare say it's a little safer than doing it yourself. So I'll say that much. Now, along with that, self awareness, you're going to learn what you can do, what you can't do, the skills you thought you were really great at, you might actually really suck, or somewhere in between, guys. It's just you're going to learn a lot about yourself. So, moving on to the cons. All right, guys, so on to the cons list here. So, first con is going to be cost of the school. That could be a hindrance to you, maybe, maybe not. You might have to save up over time for the school because most schools I find personally, and this is just me personally, that are worth their time and effort of you to save up money or put your hard-earned money into them are going to be somewhere around like 400, 300-ish per class on up to $2,000, right? So there's that number somewhere in there you got to mess around with. And given the economy nowadays, guys, I understand it's hard. It really is hard out there. I mean, look at the price of eggs, for crap's sake, right? Now, there's that. The other thing, too, is cost of equipment. Do they rent equipment out to you and they don't allow you to use your own equipment? Or do they encourage you to buy certain equipment for their school? Personally, I have a big problem with that myself. I'm like, why don't I just bring my equipment that I'm going to use in my, well, I should say everyday carry bag, EDC bag, whatever, or my get home bag or bug out bag, whatever. Why can't I just use my equipment? But whatever. I know it goes along with their class, what they're trying to teach, with a certain implement, whatever, right? So there's that too. Now, number two, time. Okay, so time may not be on your side. Haha, funny fun. But my thing is this, though, in a serious manner, time may not be on your side because most people work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, somewhere around there like that. And most of these schools are on the weekends, but if you take a longer school per se, instead of like a simple like weekend warrior school, say that you go to a school that's for, I don't know, desert survival and it's a week long. A lot of places nowadays are short on workers, or maybe you just can't get PTO off. Maybe you don't have PTO off. Maybe you can't afford it. So there's that issue too, is trying to get time off from work, or just maybe even have a time in your life period to go to something like this. So there's a con there as well. Now the other one is travel, guys. So travel, again, this kind of is in the camp of, okay, shit's the fan could be right around the corner because of the election and blah 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 here in the United States and whatever, right? Okay, I'm a millennial. We've been having the world end every year for whatever reason. Whatever. My thing is this though: travel though can be off-putting because some people don't want to leave their home state here in the United States, for example, to travel across the country to go to a certain school. They would rather just stay in the comfort of either their home state or maybe nearby, right? So there's that. So that does present a problem if it's like, hey, I want to go learn mountaineering, which I do. I want to go to the Rockies. I want to see the Rockies. I want to learn how to climb mountains and rappelling, all that fun stuff, guys, because I'm not great at it, being honest. But I need to go to specialized school. I have to leave my home state of Michigan and travel out to, say, I don't know, Montana or something like that as an example. And, again, can I afford that? Do I have the time off to do that or time period to do that? What if something happens, like shit's the fan, grid down, whatever, while I'm gone? That's a long distance to get back home. So again, that can be a con as well. So we're going to move on to what should we do from here. All right, folks, so we're going to talk about what do we do if we can't have the time off, we don't want to travel, and the cost is too much for either the equipment they want us to bring, or we have to rent, or whatever the case may be for these survival schools. What we can do is quite simply self-educate, which is not as bad as people think it is. Now, granted, yes, you have to have some kind of woodland property per se, in my opinion, or whatever environment you can go out. You have to go out to state land, federal land, as long as you can legally be there. Do things legal, guys. I'm not saying do anything illegal. I have to say that on YouTube nowadays. It's kind of sad. But my thing is this, though, have a place to go train, right? So there's that. And that's great because I can come out here in my own personal woods and start a fire. I can practice making primitive traps and whatnot. I can practice throwing my rabbit stick or whatever I want to do out here, building shelters all over my property. Just kind of hone my skills. That's the great thing about self education. I don't have to go and pay for a class and take the time off to do such a thing and worry about the cost of it. I can just come out here and do it myself. So that does allude to, okay, where do you get the information from in the first place, right? Okay, number one, my personal favorite is books, right? I would opt for more modern books than older books, just because the modern books, again, technology changes, our information and understanding the world around us changes. Things that might have been great at one point in time are now obsolete, or, oh, wait, hey, that's actually poisonous. We shouldn't do that, or something like that as an example. So there's that. I would go with modern books. Authors I would recommend, number one, Dave Canterbury. I only say him just because he lives in the Eastern Woodlands and he's pretty much a master at survival in the Eastern Woodlands. I live in the Eastern Woodlands, so I kind of like, hey, dude, that's awesome. Awesome information. It translates from down there to up here. Cool. Number two would be Les Stroud. Number three, Morris Kahansky. Number four would be Cody Lundeen. Les Stroud, his book Survive covers a lot of from boreal forest to temperate to tropical to desert, wherever he survived at, guys. He uses that experience to write it in his book and tells you how to survive in a basic format in that book. So it's kind of good. Morris Kahansky, he's pretty much the grandfather of all bushcraft and survival, pretty much regarded as that, and or one of them, I should say. So basically, he's really good at boreal forest survival, winter survival. So that's why I like him too, because obviously it's a wintry, snowy hell up here most of the year. And last one would be Cody Lundeen. I would personally recommend, just for the fact that he does cover psychology and the physiology of survival. So kind of what's going on in your mind and what's going on with your body. And then he obviously does talk a little about desert survival and survival in general and what you should carry and blah, blah, blah. All the authors do. So there's that. That's why I like those books, guys. Now, when you get a modern set of books that you can actually sit there and tailor make to your environment, your skill level, and what you want to do as survival-wise, whether it's primitive, modern, in between, a mix, whatever it's going to be. I vote for a mix. That's personally what I go for, but whatever. There's that whole aspect of like, okay, cool. There's books ready on hand. I can take these in the woods, even though I don't have my phone or whatever it is, or I don't have cell service, whatever. You can take these books. They don't require electricity. You can have them after the grid goes down, whatever, and you go back and reference them. And it's great too, because like say there's like a section on primitive trapping. Okay, I want to practice these 4 or 5 primitive traps. I can bookmark it, go out here on my personal property, build in my heart's content, and try to train myself to own the skill set. So there's that. Now videos, guys. Videos are my second favorite because a lot of times if you just go on YouTube itself and you type in just bushcraft or survival, nowadays, sadly, in my opinion, there's a lot of like these mega shelters that have honestly zero application in survival. They really don't. Or there's like some whackadack like weird skill set that doesn't actually make any damn sense to do in survival or bushcraft in a reality sense. Just my humble opinion, but whatever, I'm kind of old school. So there's that. But if you can dig around, find good videos, and actually sit here and go, okay, hey, that guy or gal is talking about this. I want to learn from them. Sweet, awesome. Thank you for teaching me a skill set. Good go. So there's that. Now, little plane's flying by. So there's that as well. But videos also kind of have a drawback because you can't really tailor make it per se to your environment, right? So there's that. Also, if the grid ever went down, you don't have the video anymore. So whatever. Now, look at my other notes here, guys. Okay. So let's go with the ending of this whole video here, guys. So, is self-education effective? Yes and no. It depends on how much effort you put into the actual effect of self-education. If you're going to like read one book and like, okay, I got it, and throw it behind your shoulder and never look at it again and collect dust on your bookshelf, you go out once every 3 months and try to start a fire with a ferrocene rod and you can't really remember anything, or maybe with bow drill or whatever, or a certain shelter, you're probably going to suck at it. But if you actually sit there and take your time to read the books over and over again over time and like go out there and actually practice skill sets like I just talked about, you're going to do great. So there's that. So yes, it is effective. Practice makes perfect. Start small. Do not be afraid to start small. Even if you're going to like make a YouTube channel about it, start small. The simple stuff, guys. It's all good. Everybody starts somewhere. That's how it is. Along with that, it's okay to fail. honestly, you learn more from your mistakes than you do getting things right the first time and perfect, okay? Mistakes are great. That's why I like making mistakes in this kind of stuff, as long as I'm in a controlled environment, like as in on my property. I can literally walk home if I'm out here being a dummy in wintertime. I didn't make enough firewood or collect enough, and I'm freezing to death. I can just literally walk to my house and it's warm. I'm fine. Okay. I learned from my mistakes. Okay, Jordan, you're dumb because you didn't grab enough firewood. Whatever. So there's that. Make mistakes. It's okay. Challenge yourself. Okay. Be honest with yourself. Challenge yourself. Like, hey, again, example, I've never been in the woods at night by myself in a tent or hammock or tarp shelter or whatever. Challenge yourself. Okay. You can start in your front yard. You can start in your backyard. Go maybe 50 yards in the woods. Go 100 yards. Just increment yourself out there. Challenge yourself and be honest with yourself. That's the key right there. Honesty. Now, this is the big one right here, guys, and the final one here, I promise. It's on your time, your budget, in your environment, right? Your time, your budget, I dare say your equipment as well, and it's in your environment. That's the big thing about self-education that I really, really love. It's going to be the stuff that I'm going to carry on my time off. I don't have to take time off and travel and do all this other stuff. I don't have to pay anybody for it. So my budget's great because, it's free, basically. Along with that, it's my equipment that I'm going to carry every day, right? My EDC. So my little tan pouch I have on, my belt knife, my pew pew on here. I can train with that stuff constantly. I'm going to get really good at using my stuff in my environment. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. Stay frosty, prep up. God bless.